We needed to push the wheel away from the chassis legs. And the only way we could do that was by putting spacers on. So we decided to make spacers, and we decided to make large spacers, 45mm spacers, which we thought would take very quick. However, it took us forever. We had to obviously drill for the PCD of the hubs and then bolt the wheel spacer in because it was too long, and then be able to bolt the wheel on the same PCD, obviously in different locations. So we machined and machined and machined, and then drilled and drilled and drilled, countersunk, 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 and tapped. So we thought it would take maybe half a day. It ended up taking us 2 days to do these things. Took forever. Now that we pushed the wheel out, we had another problem, that the body was in the way. So now we had to move the panels and flare them enough so that we would be able to fit the wheels under them. We needed to create about 75mm extra width. I wanted the finished fender, after we flared it, to look almost original from certain angles. So from the front, the trained eye would pick up straight away that is a lot wider. And that's what we wanted. We wanted it to look relatively OEM, but it's far from it. I chose the power hammer because it's the fastest way to move metal. So you bang it on, you can stretch that metal, and then you just have to move it into its place. The lovely thing about the hammer, the power hammer, is it has a potentiometer where you can speed it up, which essentially doesn't only speed up the blows, but throws that weight a lot harder down of the head of it. So by controlling that, you'll be able to stretch that to what you need. Yes, you can definitely overstretch it. So you can stretch it to the point where it becomes paper thin, and then it's useless to you, you can throw it away. Okay, I think I'm going to cut here now. I'm just going to cut a bit into there. But that looks sick. It's starting to look nice. Front fenders, I use the planishing hammer afterwards just to smooth out the ridges and kind of move the material where I want it, because as soon as you stretch it, the fender wants to do whatever it wants to do. I need to move everything back to its spot. So I use the planishing hammer and just a little bit of tweaking and manipulating to get my desired effect.
Yeah, I like that.
So every time that we got to a point that we really liked it, we'd drop the car down onto the ground under its weight and then turn the wheels and see that we have enough clearance. And we just carried on and on and on until we saw, okay, that's all we need. So we thought we can kind of stretch the fenders, the rear fenders, over the wheels by rolling the arches. And we tried a round bar to try and do that. And we kind of stretched it in its glory and moved it in places where it wasn't supposed to go. So I decided, okay, we take it off and then we make it more OEM, rounder at the top, not flared out just at the bottom, so that we could get that clearance for the back wheels. On the rear fenders, we couldn't take the rear fender and go put it in the power hammer. That means we'd have to take the whole body or cut the fender out and stretch it on the power hammer. So I just did it by hand with a hammer and dolly, being able to stretch it out by hand. The rear fenders were the worst to work on because I had to work on the car, so I couldn't get comfortable and move the material as much as I wanted. I needed to sit on a chair and turn my body inside out to try and get into certain spots, to hammer and dolly, and then try and get it as smooth as possible. No one ever listens, including me.
Do what?
Building arches.
The motor was supposed to be in. Now we're doing that.
Oh yeah,
You could have put the motor in.
that's true.
So now that we finished the fenders and the widening of the track, there's a hell of a lot more to do on this car with a very short time frame. And as we know, every time you look at a car and you have an idea, it starts growing. So come with us, learn how we did it, learn with us how we did it, and see how much we stuffed up to get there.